Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you my Tri-Brigade Lyrilusc deck. In my opinion, it's one of the most promising decks of the format. It's already one of the best rogue decks, and after the ban list and after Lightning Overdrive releases, I think it has a pretty good shot at the top tier spot. Yeah, so let's get right into it. Starting with the monsters, we play a standard 3 Fractal. You can discard to send another Tri-Beast, so that means Beast, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your graveyard. One of the monsters you're going to be sending pretty often is Nerval. Nerval has the effect that when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to search a Tri-Brigade monster, and also it has the standard Tri-Brigade effect of that you can banish Tri-Beast monsters in your graveyard to special summon a Link Tri-Beast monster with the same Link rating. Then we play 3 Karis. It's a great extender, especially if your opponent hand traps you, and then you can most of the time extend with Karis to resume your plays as normal, because you can just banish from your graveyard again, and that's, in my opinion, just very good. A lot of people play only 2, and I understand that, but I think as an extender, especially in a deck like this, it's needed at 3. I play 1 kit because you don't really want to draw it. You only want to search it at the end of your combos to normal summon it and banish again. But if you draw it, it doesn't really do much on its own. It has the effect that you can, if you send it to the graveyard, you can send 1 Tri-Brigade card from your deck to your graveyard, which is pretty good. And you're mostly going to be sending Tri-Brigade Rendezvous, which protects your Barrier statue, and also Tri-Brigade Oath, which can act as a spell trap negation. And then it has also the standard Tri-Brigade effect. For the Lyrilusc engine, I play 3 Warbler, pretty standard. It can special summon itself from hand if you don't control monster, and if it's special summoned, it doesn't matter from where or of its own effect, you can special summon a Winged Beast monster. The one you're going to be mostly special summoning is Cobalt. If it's special summoned, you get to search 1 level 1 Winged Beast monster, which can also be Nerval, so that's pretty good, because in your main combo you search, with this you search Nerval, and then you make an Xyz monster and search Sapphire Swallow. This is the effect that you can special summon it from your hand if you control a Winged Beast monster, and then you get to special summon another Winged Beast monster from your hand. So it's a good extender, but you don't really want to draw it, only want to search it in your combo. Then we play the Barrier statue, the main win condition of the deck. 1 Apex Avian, depending on your matchup and what you end up with on your board, you want to special summon this instead of the statue, but mostly you're going to be summoning the statue. And then we play 1 King Cabillo. It's a great extender, but it's just not enough space in the deck right now, and it's also a normal summon, which you're going to be mostly needing for your main combos. But if your hand isn't that great and you have this, that still works fine. Then we play the Gamma package. Gamma is just a great hand trap right now. You can use it on your own turn and then make an Omega and rip another card off your opponent's hand if they, for example, ash your Fractal, because you don't control any monsters at that point. And that's one of the main cards that is going to get ashed. We play 3 Ash, talking about it. Best hand trap in the format, undoubtedly. 3 DD Crow. We're in a pretty graveyard-centered format right now. All of the best decks use their graveyard extensively, so having a DD Crow is, in my opinion, very good. I play this over Ghost Bell, because if they are using an effect to target a monster in the graveyard, to example, special summon it, Ghost Bell can't do anything about that, but DD Crow can banish the monster they are wanting to special summon, or for example, banish the spell they're going to add back or something like that. So that's just, in my opinion, the better hand trap. Then for the spells, we play 1 Rendezvous. You send this with kit to your graveyard, and if 1 or more of your linked Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monster would be destroyed, you can banish this from your graveyard instead. So it's protection for your Barrier statue, and that's the only reason you play this. 3 Jack in the hand, it's the search card for your Lyrilusc cards, but you have to play some mind games with your opponent because most of the time they're going to choose Warbler, so you have to give them something that seems as if you don't need the Warbler, but in some occasions you also don't really want the Warbler, so yeah, it's just a tricky card, but if you use it right, it's a pretty good card. 3 tanky, Search Fractal. 1 for 1 to special Warbler. Foolish to send Nerval or Cobalt Sparrow. And 1 foolish to work against hand traps and can also work Spectral. And then the 1 Oath. This can also be sent with Kit. And if this is in your graveyard and you control each of the 3 Tri-Beast types, you can activate this and target 1 trap your opponent controls, or spell and trap your opponent controls, and negate its effects until the end of the turn, which is pretty good. So in your main combo you end up with this in your graveyard and the required field to use it, so you can negate traps on spells, which is not usually what this deck does, but I think running it makes the deck just a little bit better. For the extra deck, we play 2 Shuraig. I like this card because going second, it's a great card. It is non-target banishing, and it's also during your opponent's turn if you special summon the beast, which can be done with Rugal. I'm going to get that. And in your main combos, you're also going to be using this card a lot because if it's sent to graveyard, you can search a Tri-Beast. A Tri-Brigade card. So yeah, it's a pretty good card. You play 2 Farragut. Use it in almost every one of your combos because with it you can special summon a level 4 or lower Tri-Beast from your hand, and if it's sent to graveyard you get to draw 1 and put 1 back into the deck, so it's hand improvement and an extender, which is pretty good in this deck. And the 1 Rugal. You use this mainly as a combo piece, not really for its effect, but depending on your hand you can put this and Shuraig on your end board, and with this you can special summon a beast from your graveyard. And if a beast is special summoned from your graveyard, you can banish something with Shuraig, so that's pretty good. 1 Appaloosa. It's pretty much in all of your end boards, mostly not with 4 counters, but it doesn't matter, it's just monster negation, which is good. The reason why we are all here is Simorg. Pretty busted card, you special summon your barrier statue with it and in your end phase. And you can also protect it with this. 1 Reservoir Gutter, the card that's impossible to pronounce. You mainly make it if you need a link 3, and you can link your berry statue away if you don't want it anymore. It can also shuffle something back from your opponent's graveyard, which sometimes helps a lot, but I don't know if it's coming up that often. Just for the link 3 and needing wind. Harpy Conductor, you only play it because it's Wind, Winged Beast, link 2. The effect doesn't matter at all. 1 double Dragon Lords, you want this on your end board. It's a free bounce, which is not free, you have to sacrifice something from your hand or field, but it's just a pretty good card, bouncing something. 1 Lyrilusc, 1 Almirage. This is more or less a proxy for Zeus because I don't own one right now. Definitely switch this one out for Zeus. You can play either of those. I prefer Lyrilusc because most of the time you're going to link away a level 1 monster more likely than you're going to link away a normal summon monster. Some people prefer the Almirage, it's really up to you. And then I play the Nightingale and the Recital Starling. Recital Starling is used in your combos to search another Lyrilusc card. And this is just used for Zeus because you can attack directly with it. Then you can put Zeus over it. And then the 1 Omega, because you have the space for it, and you can just link synchro away your Gamma and Driver, make this, banish another card of your opponent's hand, and it's pretty great. Too good not to play. Then for the side deck, we'll play the 1 Dark Simorg. If you play against Eldlik and you know it, you can set this in going first, summon it with Simorg instead of the barrier statue. They can't set cards, they're done for. 3 Skullmeister. Because it's a pretty graveyard centered deck, we just play the most graveyard hand traps we can possibly play, which also includes the Cycle Reader. This is just great against Rytron. You can banish a lot of their stuff because it's all light. This is great against everything that uses the graveyard, but I prefer DD Crow over it. And this just also against the graveyard decks. Lancia's pretty good against Virtual World because they need to banish the spells and traps a lot. And then one Droll and Lockbird. It's pretty good against Tritron because their whole deck bases on searching with Ben 10. So if they can't do that, they can't do Plot. And then 2 Twin Twister if you're going second against a back row deck. It's just better to play that because you're not going to summon your Dark Smoke. They already set up a board with many cards in the field. And popping 2 I think is pretty good right now because they're mostly going to have 4 or 5 even of back row. Yeah, so that was my Tri-Brigade deck. I hope you liked it. As I said, it's a pretty good deck. I'm also going to try out the Rescue Cat version. So you just basically just swap out the Jack in the hand for the Rescue Cat. Maybe I'm going to do a deck profile on that, but I'm going to have to test it more. Thank you for watching and enjoy.